and everybody is here to help everybody out. And it may just be a simple phone call, a simple text of, hey, am I doing this right? Or do you have any advice about this? Do you think can you tell me why you think my listing isn't selling? Don't be afraid to ask us those questions. That's what we're here for. We're here to support each other, love each other, and be honest. You don't need to sugarcoat people. A lot of people know with me, I don't sugarcoat much these days. And so sometimes it's about being honest. I just had to call one of my friends and tell her how horrible her realtor was and why her house wasn't selling, because they're selling a $700,000 house with, cell phone pictures. Like, who does that? You should not be doing that. You should not be taking a $700,000 listing if you can't afford the photos, people. It's just not professional. And that's why it's been on the market for 30 days with hardly any showings. So it's okay to, get that negative feedback and turn it into something positive. I was able to tell her, well, literally had to tell her she had to fire her agent, which I didn't know was her mother-in-law. But she agreed with me. But she needed the power to let her know why she was going to have to let her go. Literally, example is her first line on MLS was saying, this house is in a cul-de-sac, spelled C-U-T-D-E-S-A-C-K. That is not how you spell cul-de-sac, people. How embarrassing. Like, come on. As realtors, we know when we see that, we're like, click to the next house. If this agent came and spelled cul-de-sac and that's her punchline to list this, probably not going to want to work with her. Like, learn how to spell, people. There's spell check. So, I want to just let everyone know, we're all in the same boat right now. It is a very much a roller coaster. And I think all of us are really feeling that. One day it's up here, one day it's down here, one day it's up here. And just, we got to spend time with our family. We got to spend time with our friends, even though, it's a little bit harder, but Placer County's opened up now. So, we can go out to dinner inside now and, have a drink or dinner with friends. But take the support that you have. We're so lucky to be able to come on these meetings once a week and be able to ask any questions out there without feeling stupid. Because, I always tell all my clients, the number one thing is there's no such thing as stupid questions in real estate. Real estate is constantly changing. And what the market, as we know, was this week is not what the market was even last week or the month before or 6 months before. And if you're only selling a couple houses, every couple months, which is fabulous, the market has probably dramatically changed in the past couple of months since you sold a house. So before you maybe go meet a buyer or seller, just ask us, is there anything extra that I should know? Is there any changes that have been done? Even reaching out to Alicia, because we're realizing one day they have, jumbo loans, one day they don't. The VAs were taken away for a long time. Now FHA is being a nightmare to deal with. I've never seen FHA appraisals so tough ever in my career as they are right now. I'm talking they have to take out cat doors. There was literally a paint chip on a door that was this big and they made them replace the door. They won't give us an appraisal waiver, for it. It's kind of crazy out there, which I've never seen them that strict before with FHA. And also the FHA appraisers, we were told, don't want them anymore. So it took 2 weeks to get an appraiser out there in a rush. I wasn't prepared for that. Usually we are in a rush and they're out there in like 2 days. Well, FHA, they said it gets in the queue and no one wants to touch that FHA anymore. They said they will take a VA over an FHA any day right now. I didn't know that. I haven't had an FHA buyer in a while. And guess what? We've missed our appraisal contingency, which means now we're missing our loan contingency. But I communicate with that agent. So, it's all going to be okay. Everyone's going to, work it out. But that's just the difference of, how the market is changing week by week. Did anyone have any questions for me while I'm on here? You could ask me anything. That's appropriate. Anyone? I can't see who's on here. Let me try to scroll. I'm on my phone. Oh, there's so many of you guys. Good morning. Krista's in a forest. Well, I all really, really appreciate everyone tuning in. Brent's going to be on a little bit later. He had a Shankakoska meeting that he had to be on that he thought was 9, but it ended up being 10. So we're just going to try to start this meeting off very positive until Brent comes on, because once he gets on, it's going to be a lot of positivity. He's our big giant teddy bear who's always a cheerleader for all of us. So I believe, is Darcy on yet? I think Darcy or Krista or Cindy was going to be next.
Actually, Brent will not be making an appearance today.
Oh, so he's not making an appearance?
The kids have the house all to themselves. What do we want to do at this time?
Okay, so who wants to talk crap about Brent? No, just kidding. There's nothing bad to say about that guy. Who we kidding? You know, and if you guys don't have our phone numbers or anything, you know, don't hesitate after the meetings to, you know, text, you know, get it from us. Obviously, the best way I think to communicate with all of us is texting. These days, it's very hard to take phone calls with a lot of clients, and, you know, as taking care of the kids at home, but they're going back. They're going back in 2 weeks. So I think life will be getting a lot better for all of us here soon. So just want to tell everyone, keep going, keep staying positive, use us as resources, and keep kicking butt, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, so Brent said that Krista was going to have some stuff to share. I will say we had a great event yesterday. If you weren't a part of that, just email me, rob@brentgove.com. It was for the Hold the Gold people. We'll release it later, but we'll give it to you now if you want it. So it was awesome. 3 amazing speakers. Tina Cole came on, and then she brought one of her new people on, just talking about their processes and what they're doing. So if you want that link, just email me, rob@brentgove.com, and I'll just shoot it back to you. But it was a 90 minutes, and Gene Frederick was on there, Tina Cole, and a guest. And then Michael Valdez, he's the president of Growth, talking about international growth. So talking mainly about South Africa. When we come into South Africa, when we open, we will be the #2 in size realtor in South Africa. When we open, we'll be #2 already. So some really cool stuff going on there. So I'll be happy to get you that link if you just shoot me an email, rob@brentgove.com. We're not letting it out publicly yet until all the Hold the Gold people get to watch it, and then we'll put it out for public, but you can watch it. So Krista, Alicia, somebody just take it away. The kids.
Hey, I'll go ahead. I'll go ahead and go next. Am I unmuted? Can you hear me?
Yes, sounds great.
All right.
And that is her forest, just so you know, right?
Yes, this is my backyard.
It's not a virtual background.
Huh?
It looks almost beautiful enough to be a virtual background.
I know. And the smoke was like down just barely enough. I thought, well, I could probably be outside for a little bit. I don't have makeup on, but hey, we're all family. Cindy always looks photo ready. I will just say that. It's because, you know, I don't know if it's the model training in her. It's just she gets out of bed like that. Anyway, Cindy, beautiful. And I hope you had an awesome birthday too over the weekend. And also another way that I think is great to ask any of us for anyone that has, you know, questions, answers, is on the Brent Gove Facebook group page, because that's private and you're not, you know, you can ask any question. Like, I'm not afraid to divulge my ignorance on that page, because the only people that see that is us. So if you have a question, sometimes I'll specifically tag people so they I know they have a chance to see it. So ask there and tag us too. But I was going to talk a little bit about Chris Okamura has done some joint training with me for some of my agents, because I feel like there's 2 experiences going on. It's a whole different experience for agents who have an established database, an established book of business, and their referral business is already really strong. And a very wise veteran agent told me when I was brand new, she said, you know what, just hang in there and your referrals will start kicking in year 2, year 3. And I thought, oh my gosh, that seems like forever. Like, I'm going to have to hustle and grind it out for 2 years. But, you know, she was right. And I just want to say to anyone who happened to be starting your business, either ramping up for the first time or re-ramping up your business this year, I just want to give you some encouragement and tell you you're not a loser. This is a very, very difficult market, because for people who already have an existing database of referral base, their referrals are just, you know, taking off even more. But that's because we already had a referral base in play. And I'm going to talk to you about how to build your referral base. Okay. For those of us who are either just starting or re-ramping after maybe a long break, maybe you had some young children, so you took a break from your real estate career, or maybe you went, you know, I know people who have gone through a divorce, and then, you know, my mom died this year. So I felt like I was out of it for 6 months myself. You know, thankfully I had that book of business, so referrals were coming my way. But I promise you, if I didn't have that, I didn't have it in me to go out and hustle like I did 7 years ago when I started in this business, and I wasn't going through that kind of pain. So I just want to give hope and encouragement, because when I was brand new, I think the biggest feeling I struggled with for the first 6 months, it took me 6 months to get a deal. Cindy and I started about the same time, and we came into the business right when the market was barely beginning to recover. I got my license in 2013. The market bottomed out in 2012. So people were still, it was still a little bit of a tough market back then, not as tough as it might, right now with the corona, like everything's, all bets are off. This is uncharted territory for anyone, let's face it. So it took me 6 months I was working so hard. I was working every spare hour I had. A lot of you have heard my story before. I had 4 kids in school. We had 3 different schools that I had to drive everyone to. We had 1 working car. My husband was working 2 jobs. So I was the taxi for everyone, and I was building a real estate business from scratch. So if I could do it, I promise you anyone could. I also wasn't marketing my prospecting any friends or family on purpose, because we were in a position of leadership in our church, and it just felt weird to prospect friends and family. So anyway, all through that time, I was working so hard doing lead generation to strangers, and it seemed like nothing was breaking open. Like from October 1st to February 22nd, I had zip, or so it felt, okay? But what I didn't see was under the surface, because of all that activity I was generating. I mean, you have to take massive action if you want to get some momentum. So I was taking massive action that whole time. And the prevailing thought in my mind was, wow, you are such a loser. You cannot make anything happen. What's wrong with you? Other people are having deals. Well, first of all, never compare yourself to any other agent. You don't have the experiences they have. You don't have the same, it's just, that's a losing game. So none of us are the same. And so I just felt like this loser. Well, come February 22nd, my first deal went in escrow, and then boom, 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 boom. What happened was I was building a pipeline, and I was working that pipeline, and I was being faithful to it, and I was following up, follow up, lead generation, follow up, lead generation, follow up, lead generation, follow up, nonstop, putting the pressure on. I was like, resistance. And then it breaks open, and then your pipeline starts popping. Because think of farming. I'm trying to grow a garden right now. It's not easy. People make it look so easy. You have to plant that seed in the ground. You have to have it in the right soil. You have the right soil because you're on the right team. Let me just say that you're in good soil. If you're in this group, you could not have better soil. So got to put those seeds in the ground. You got to watch over them. You have to water them. You have to keep bugs away. You have to keep pests away, all this stuff. And then finally, after time, if you're consistent and you pay attention to it and keep weeds out of it, you will have a surplus. You will have more than enough. So I want to encourage you, because I'm with Cindy. Like, I've had my biggest year I've ever had. At the same time, I do acknowledge that if I was a brand new agent, I don't think that would be happening for me right now. I would be in the build mode, in the planting and the watering and the weeding mode. And I would be like praying over that seed every day, like something grow, something grow, something grow. And it will, if you do not give up. I promise you, like, it's a law. It has to happen. So I'm going to share with you a few things that Chris Okamura shared with my team. And it was great, because it's very difficult to do open houses right now, if you can even get them. Do you know inventory is the lowest it's been in 15 years? So when people say it's hard to get an open house, even if you could do one of those tour of homes, it is hard to do an open house. And I'm talking California. I don't know where everybody's at on this call, but in our area, inventory is the lowest it's been in 15 years. So, which also makes it very hard to get a deal accepted. I don't care what the property is. And I agree with Cindy. If you have an offer that you're making, please pull out the stops. Call every one of us and say, what could I do to make this offer stronger? Do you know the agent? Can you put in a good word for me? I mean, it is tooth and nail out there to get offers accepted. So you want an expert helping you with that, who like knows what stuff. I even offered to personally get credit the seller on my last offer. I'll personally credit the seller $200 toward any cleaning fees they incur when they're moving out. Like I thought, what can I possibly do to sweeten it more and more and more and more and more? So anyway, real quick, this is what, please take notes on this. And actually, Rob, we could paste this on the group page too, but it's the 410 lead gen follow-up. This is not new. It's old stuff. It's proven over time. Steve, I know that you've probably coached people on this 100 times. Steve could recite this in his sleep. So if I mess this up or forget a component of it, maybe Steve, you might want to chime in. So Steve is responsible for giving me the boldness to go out and get my first listing, because I was doing an open house. A client came in and they were like, oh yeah, we're looking for an agent to list our home. I'm like, oh, okay, let me take your name and number and I'll call you back. And then Steve came to visit my open house because he saw the yellow signs. He's like, I know this is a Brent Gove agent, so I have to see who this is. And I told him, yeah, somebody just came through. They have the house they want to sell and da 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 da. And he's like, and so you made an appointment, right? I'm like, well, I'm going to call him. He's like, oh, no, you're not. You're going to get that appointment right now. And so I just, when you're new, that boldness isn't there yet. So he just gave me that shot of boldness. That was my first listing. And that was the first transaction I ever had go into contract on February 22nd of 2014. So thank you, Steve. Anyway, so it's 410 lead gen follow-up. Okay. So you're going to do this lead gen and follow-up activity every day. All right. So every week you want to add 10 new contacts to your CRM. If you don't know what a CRM is, ours is called KV Core. You have it. You're paying for it very, very cheaply, I might add. And because I wonder if because it's so inexpensive to EXP agents, they don't understand the value of it. It's an amazing thing. So you have it. So please use it. If you're not using it right now, I mean, that's your lead gen and follow up. So if you can't do open houses, I mean, you have to be doing this, or don't call yourself an agent. Okay, so add 10 new contacts to your CRM every week, all right? And the way you can do this is anybody you meet, you hit it off with them. Hey, yeah, let's exchange information. And you know, what's your number? And, oh, can I have your email address? What's your address? And, my husband does this all the time, right? He adds everybody to his phone. Like, he's the master at this. He doesn't even have anything to sell, but that's just what he does. So I've learned a lot from him. He gets all their information. He saves it in his phone. You do that. And then you put that into KV Core and boom, guess what? Now they know you're a real estate agent. You never had to tell them. Now they're on your database. And then, so add 10 new contacts. So that's people that you're meeting or people that you already know, but you don't have them in your database. If you're not sure how to do it, call them, just touch base with them and say, hey, I'm updating my Christmas card list. Christmas is coming up. Can I have your address? They'll give it to you. Why not? They're your friend. So get all their information and then touch 10 people that are existing in your database. So get this, if you spend 5 days a week doing this, that's 2 people a day from each of these. So 10 new contacts in your database, touch 10 existing contacts. How do you do this? The most effective way that I've ever seen, honestly, I mean, I'll do a phone call, I'll do a text, and that's fine for a lot of people because they're busy, they don't want a phone call. But the best way I've ever done is note cards, handwritten note cards. It is so powerful. I've run into people in the mall that got a note card and she goes, oh my gosh, that note card you sent me, I carry it with me everywhere. So that's powerful. Then write 10 notes. So I guess that's in addition. Okay, so write 10 notes, touch 10 existing people. So phone call, Facebook call, whatever. Then preview 10 homes per week. And Chris says that this is so powerful because as an agent, you're going to find yourself becoming such an expert on the inventory. It will just spill out of you. And I do agree with that because when I'm out touring more homes, I have so much more. You'd be amazed at what you remember and your confidence that grows what you know about the market. So you're going to call 2 people a day that you know. And this is, how you can this can coincide with your 2 calls a day. Call 2 people a day that you know and just reach out and have a conversation. Don't, just talk to them. And then prior to hanging up, there's a script, and you do not deviate from this script because it's psychologically tested and scripted. And you're talking to them and say, hey, would you do me a favor? What are they going to say? Sure. I mean, they know you, they like you, right? And then you say, who do you know that I should know that's looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? That's it. Don't make this more than it is. It's a normal human interaction, right? And then if they can't think of anyone, or if they think of somebody, just say, I appreciate you taking the time. I appreciate you taking the time. In the future, if you find yourself or someone interested in the market, please keep me in mind. That's it. And but if they do know somebody, oh, okay, how could I reach them? They say, well, let me give them your card. Do you have a card? Well, the best way, actually, because I typically don't give out cards, but what works the best is if you just ask them, hey, would it be okay if my agent calls you and just reaches out to you, answer any questions you have, so, or a good way to say it that I learned from Rob Flick is you can tell them to ask, hey, would you be offended if I have my friend who's an agent reach out to you to see if you have any questions? And that's the best way. So then, okay, there's some other notes that he said, but anyway, that's it, basically, in a nutshell. If you're doing that every day, and I was laughing because I was doing some lead gen phone calls yesterday, and I'm meeting Cindy Litzinger at the office every Wednesday to do it together. And then another one of the agents that I sponsored in the EXP Zoom calls with us and does it, because that phone is so heavy sometimes. But when you're meeting someone and you're going to be at the office and what are you going to do? Say, yeah, let's just sit here and stare at each other and not do what we know we're supposed to do. We start picking up the phone, we start making the calls, and I don't care how inept or inadequate I feel. I know that the activity in and of itself is going to produce results if I'm faithful to it. So that's all I have. And I just want to encourage you guys, if you are in real estate this year and you're sticking it out, you're a rock star. If you can make it in this environment, you can make it in any environment. And don't lose heart, because I know inventory is going to come back on board when all the forbearances and, sadly, things start, bankruptcies come into play with unemployment, and we are going to probably get hit with some bank-owned properties coming on the market in 2021, and there's probably going to be a lot of more opportunity for that. So the market's always moving. We just have to position ourselves to help people forward in it. But that's all. I may have taken too long, but that was such valuable stuff from Chris Okamura. I just wanted to share it with everybody.
Krista, can you send me a link
Krista, that was
to
great.
I'll post it, or post that on the team page, because I think that's just great basic information for everybody. So Darcy has some stuff. Steve Evans, did you have a word of wisdom for us all? You're muted.
Well, actually, you know what? Let me tailgate on what Krista mentioned in those 4 points. A lot of times we're kind of like stuck as far as what to write in a note and things like that consistently. And just to let you know, I went to a printer and I actually have 500 thank you cards printed up. So here's the key. If you just want to take 10 people a day and just write a random thank you for each person, you go from A to Z, and recall why you're grateful or thankful for that person, even if it's just for an appointment or for a call back. I thank somebody for meeting with me so we could go over the list for the offer. So just be thankful minded, and that way every day you send out 50 thank you cards to your people, and it becomes real genuine because you're thankful for a specific thing or interaction that you had with that person. So just a little note on that one. It'll help you as far as, okay, contact 10 new leads, follow up 10 notes. It can get overwhelming sometimes, but thank you is easy, and you get a lot of mileage out of it relationally. That's all.
That's all. That's awesome. I love it. See, that's really cool. Darcy.
Hi, good morning.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Take it away. Brent said you had some stuff to share.
Okay, cool. So I did not look as fabulous as Cindy this morning. I'm running back and forth with the kids, but I wanted to talk about 2 things. Okay, one was the Michael Lewis mark. You know,
We're losing you, Darcy. Just
face off when she first started, and can you hear me? Okay.
we're losing you here. Let's try it again.
Okay. Hey. Oh, you know what? Let me click.
So if you don't know what the Michael Lewis marketing is, Brent offered to pay for the first year for our team. It's $150, I think. And so if you still want in on, there was a timeline, but I think you could still get in on that. And so tell us your experience, Darcy. And I think Jen Sandoval has an experience with it too. So I'm
Okay.
not ugly. I know some people that it's working for. And so, yeah.
Okay, you guys should be able to hear me better. I switched
Yes.
to a different internet connection. Okay, so okay, I'll do the marketing one first, and then I just wanted to add a little thing to what Krista was saying. Okay, so Brent paid for us to have a full year subscription. So every month they'll make us a little thing that you can put out on social media. Cindy showed me this too. So this was for Labor Day, and you can add that out on social media. It's just a little thing, right? So that is one thing that you get. They'll send that to you in your email. Make sure if you signed up that you go on there and check for it, and then they'll make it for you and be back within 24 hours. So that's one cool thing. Here are the flyers for the marketing. They are beautiful gloss. They design them. You can kind of see them. And here's the back. So I'm super excited because I'm doing like a little COVID-friendly broker tour today.
Is that
and I'm
one
going to
of
be
your
able to
listings?
This is for my listing. Yep.
Oh,
And then here's the flyer. And this is like cardstock glossy for my listing. So what happens is right when you get your listing, you send them your pictures and you send them all your logins for your social media, and you approve everything. And then it's not as fast as I was hoping the turnaround would be, but you will get these within about 4 days, 4 to 5 days. And then on the social media, they'll put it out right away for you. And they must have done something different to boost it a little, because I did get a little more action on there, but they're very generic on how they put it on there, but it is pretty how they do it. So this is just, all your printing's done. It comes to your doorstep. It's super easy. Can you make it yourself? Yeah, it probably cost me almost $300 for all of this plus shipping. And I got, they also sent out flyers to 100, I picked the location, 100 top sellers in San Jose that are they're most likely to sell, because this home calling will go to a Bay Area person. So that was really cool. So that included postage and the flyer, and that already went out to 100 people in San Jose. So that was another cool thing. So it was a different approach. This is a big listing for me. It's the biggest I've ever had. So I wanted to, if anybody else wants to try it and you have any questions, just let me know. But that's a cool little thing that you can add to your repertoire. And then just to piggyback on what Krista was talking about, if you're new, and this is kind of a different time. When I started, it was all short sales and foreclosures. And what we did to kind of get business, because I didn't have a book of business like Krista was talking about, and I know we can't do this right now, but it's the being creative and thinking on the box that I'm trying to ignite, is we found people that were in pre-foreclosure, and we went and door knocked on the door, and we just said, hey, we are out as a service in the community, just helping people. If you have any needs, any this, just offering information and just more of a service to them. You wouldn't believe what we got from people. Because they're getting ready to lose their home. We're like, well, let us help you. You don't need to go into foreclosure. Let us see if we can help you this way. So we had to kind of change the way we were for the time. So we kind of have to do that right now too. And that's why today I'm offering this COVID-friendly broker tour. So I have to have everybody sign PEDs. I have, I'm spacing people out. We have to wear masks. But I'll let you know how it goes. I'm kind of excited. I think I have probably 15 agents coming to 2 different homes staggered out. So it'll be kind of fun.
Darcy, I think that idea of knocking on people's doors as a service is incredible. And how do you feel in this COVID environment? Like, what would you recommend to approach someone's door? Because you know what I'm saying? Some people are just very fear-based. I mean, personally, I'm not afraid one single bit of the COVID, but I'm shocked because a lot of people are sincerely afraid.
So true. So true. So I had one of my new agents, she door knocks a lot. And she put my address of my office on her flyer. So the gal that owned the home must have found my phone number through that. So she called me and chewed me out. How dare I? It wasn't me. It was this other agent. So there is. So you will get that. But you know what? You'll get that probably in a lot of situations. I remember we used to put out 50 REO signs. Remember that? For an open house. And I had a lady steal them all and then throw them in the front yard. You know, people knock on your door mad. And so I think we always have that hurdle. I mean, we do have to come and show respect and, you know, with the mask and kind of, but I feel like if you know somebody is hurting or needing us, because there's so many different options, that we could switch to that at some point. I mean, right now we have a thriving real estate market, but if we do switch a little, you know, who knows? I mean, I think just being even business owners, how can I be of service to you? I went up to this wood place up in Auburn just to get some wood for my house. And he's like, it's $10,000 a month to rent this place. We're hurting. We're barely able to make it. I'm like, how can I help you? I'm like, me and my girlfriend have this Humble Hustler show. We can get 1,000 people looking at this. And I'm like, he's like, yes, please. Just doing that, I feel like it comes back, because you're just like this too, Krista. It comes back to you, you know, just giving a little to somebody will come back to you in many ways too. So just think outside of our box, and we will run into fearful people, but I think just keeping, you know, the positive and persevering and not letting that person get to you mentally. And if they chew you out, they chew you out.
I'm just using your address now too, Darcy, so that anybody
Okay.
calls, just so they can yell at you.
I'm like, no, let me give you Jen's personal home address.
Well, I think, Darcy, I think what you just showed me, you know, looked very professional, and it looked like a sample that they had sent you. That's why I asked, is this actually your listing? Because it looks like something that they would promote as, you know, trying to sell their product. So I think it looks, and for $300, you could try to do something yourself or try to go through this or that, the other, beat your head against the wall, but looks pretty good to me. So if anybody else is interested in that, just email rob@brentgove.com and I'll connect you with Cameron.
Hey, Rob, could I add something? Because some people are thinking, wow, $300 to spend on a listing. Like, I could barely afford gas to get to the listing appointment. I remember being in that boat. And I just want to say that I'm sure Darcy or Cindy, me, Jen, like anybody, Steve, I mean, I can't speak for other people, but I know by experience that any of us would probably typically be willing to partner with you on a listing if you're feeling insecure. So, I mean, is that right, guys?
Yeah, and I don't know if anybody else has ever put anything on a credit card and said we'll pay it off when it sells. Anybody else? But so I mean, sometimes you just have to do that and then pay it off when it sells. Anyways, Alicia, what news do you have for us?
Well, I'm super excited. I have some really, really good stuff. So hopefully you guys have a second for me. Rates are still in the twos. So even if you guys are doing a video to Facebook saying, hey, everybody, I'm super excited. Rates are the twos for the first time in history. And in 20 years of my career, or maybe you say in the last 20 years, right? And literally in 20 years of my career, never have rates been this low ever. And to give you an idea, because I wanted to bring it up to you guys, if your lenders are a little bit hiding, okay? Because I know I am, and I'm not gonna lie. The only real estate team I'm working with is you guys, and that's it. I did one email to my database a week and a half ago. I got 34 leads in 24 hours and 12 applications in a half a day. So as far as the lenders' response that we're getting when we market, we are bombarded and overwhelmed. So if you've noticed, not many are doing down payment assistance, guys, because we get paid about 0.5 point on those, where I can make 3 points on a regular loan. So I wanted to give you an alternative to down payment assistance for your buyers that don't have any money, that really want to buy and they're highly motivated. Darcy is a badass. I'm going to pat her on the back. We have a client in the 300,000 range, and I know some agents are like, we're never going to get it in contract. Oh yeah, in less than a week, she got it in contract, 100% financing, USDA. The payment is under $2,000. And I have never heard such a happy, more thankful client than this client. They're so excited. Now they had gift money and they had 20, 30,000 the family was willing to give them, but I went, why do that? Let's go 100% USDA is the loan I'm talking about. USDA is 100% financing. It is a geographically restricted program, but if they want to live in Sacramento, great, drive them to Wilton and Galt. It's within 20, 30 minutes. And now people are more open to getting a teeny bit in the outskirts because of COVID than needing to live in a crunched residential where their family has no yard. People are more open to going out and getting away from people. So USDA is a phenomenal alternative. Your lender makes the normal commission. They're highly motivated for you on that transaction versus your down payment assistance, which you're going to really have a hard time getting into contract. But also the lender doesn't really want to do it, truthfully, because they just make like 1/5 the money. You guys wouldn't really work for 1/5 the money if you had a choice, right? So I just wanted to give you guys that choice. So on her client, we had them qualified up to $395. They literally ran out and bought for $325. The payment's $1,800, including taxes, insurance, and everything. Now we know that if we went into apartment housing Sacramento on Facebook and posted about that, oh, we're so excited, we got a client whose payment's under $1,900. Take control of 2020. Have you had a stream of bad luck? The great news is you can make this your year. You can finally become a homeowner. So you can excite people and get them going and help them take control of this year where they've had so much gloom and doom, and be that shining light to say, hey, let me carry the torch into homeownership for you. You can buy with under $2,000 out of pocket. And that, you know, that is the truth. And so be that shining light. So I posted for you guys a really helpful tool I made for my team because I have some new people on my team. It's called the cheat sheet. And it's on your Facebook group. And it basically gives you guys all the VA funding fees, all the FHA breakdowns, what the mortgage insurance is for conventional and USDA and the different programs. Because a lot of times I know I've had agents that are like, I hope this doesn't sound stupid. I'm like, look, I'm in the business and I forget, okay? And you don't always want to Google and you're accidentally quoting 2018 rules in 2020. So up-to-date 2020 information is on there, but it gives you some facts about lending so you guys have a little bit more data. But no kidding, any loan program you want to do, we posted our rates, you can get into the twos in every program. So whether you want to this week go, hey everybody, I'm super excited, VA rates are in the twos, or hey everybody, buy 100% financing in the twos, use that. Because people who never thought it was possible, if your rate's 4%, or your rate is now 3% and you're buying for $400,000, that's $4,000 savings a year, which is $330 a month in the payment. So clients that couldn't buy before, it's now almost $350 cheaper on a $400,000 house today than a year ago. $350 is like a car payment, right? So saying stuff like that out there and doing these Facebook posts, you will get an influx of business that you're not used to because I don't see a lot of people doing it. And you might think that it is being done, but I can only think of a couple, Darcy, Cindy, even some of the other big hitters on here. I don't see them doing regular videos. So when you're bold enough to talk about something and you have that confidence, people are going to come to you for information, right? You just have to put yourself out there and don't be scared. So talk about control, right? We don't have a lot of control about so many things. My grandma has 3 cabins in the middle of the creek fire, and praise God, we've all been praying, and the fire is currently a U shape all around the village, but only the village has not burned, okay? So we've been praying for a protective bubble, and it's been happening, but I don't have control over that. So what do I do with my anxiety that is causing me? I'm starting to plan a circus because my friend Darcy likes to be in the circus like me. And so I've already been recruiting people. I'm like, we could have a trapeze act and we could buy a tightrope. And I'm like fantasizing about the future because it pumps me up. It brings me joy. We can control our thought process, so we can go down the negative rabbit trail, or we can go up and climb. and think about the things we want to accomplish and what we want to make happen. If one of us needs to buy a house this year because you're feeling drab, you're not really happy when you look around, you would rather have something nicer, well, practice what you preach. If you think it's a good time to buy, take control. Talk about it on Facebook. Hey, I'm a realtor and I'm surprised that I'm scared to think about the thought of buying a house. I want to be an example for you guys. I'm going to take a step out there and get pre-qualified just to have the information. It doesn't hurt to collect the data, right? And collecting the data is what excites us. I'll say to my clients, I'll be like, hey, I know you're asking me about refining. We're saving you $1,100 a month by paying off your debt. You're still sitting on 100 grand in equity. Have you thought about a better house? It is 109 out there today. Do you guys have a pool? Oh, you don't? Have you thought about getting a house with a pool? Say these little seeds that like she says, planting the seeds of, hey, have you thought about this? Hey, quarantine's not so bad when you have a nice backyard. You know, and I know you guys had another baby. It seems like you're getting a little cramped. It was only a 3-bedroom. You got 4 kids, right? Planting seeds where they're like, you know what, you're right. I do deserve this. Sometimes we have to give people permission to love themselves, right? And when we don't, and we're just like, oh, okay, you're just kind of going along, you're hanging in there. Whenever people say, I'm hanging in there, I'm like, ooh, hanging in there, that sucks. How about outstanding? What can we do to make your life outstanding right now? And they're like, and I say, what is the most positive time in your life when somebody asks you how you feel and you're like, man, I feel great. Talk to me about that time in your life. And like, you know, it was my wedding day. Then goes, and let's plan a party, man. Let's plan outstanding. Let's take control of how we feel by planning those positive thoughts that you have an association with in the past. Well, it's a new year. We either are a impact of what's going on around us, or we take control and we make a good year, right? So motivating people and getting them excited. And when I cold call, why it's my favorite thing, and so many people hate it, I look at it as this is my opportunity to brighten someone's day. I get this chance to interact with another human being and bring them joy. Either I'm drab or I'm lighting their life on fire when they hang up and they go, I don't know what the hell just happened, but I love you, right? Be that light. And so when you're reaching out, just remember to shine as bright as you can. And you are like someone carrying a torch, and you can truly bring joy to those who come into your path in that day. And that is attractive, and that is what will make them want to work with you. Okay, I'm done preaching.
Hey, I wanted to tap something in though and combine something you said with something Krista said. So Krista brought up the fact that at EXP we have our KV Core CRM. Did you know that in that, if you already have them grouped or whatever, or if you just have leads in there you haven't done anything with, who cares? There's this feature where you can mass text. So you can take what Alicia just said and you can go, oh my gosh, I just had the most amazing meeting with my lender. Do you, or do you know anybody who needs an interest rate in the 2s?
Yeah.
You will get, hands down, if you just send that mass text, you will get responses. Now, some of them may go with the I want to bash Darcy route, because why are you bothering me? I don't want to buy a house. But I guarantee you'll get to the ones who want that or know someone that's trying to look. It's like the easiest, most Can you do a video? Can you do a video? Not on KV Core, you'd have to have something else tied in, but you can do a mass text. So even if you do that though.
You guys doing a video and even texting a video, if you're too scared to do it on Facebook, texting a video that's just from your home computer, you turn your phone around and you just are excited. Hey, I've been meaning to reach out. I'm really excited. I know with COVID, I haven't seen you, but I just wanted to see you. And they will love to see your face. And people do feel connected. I've been Zooming with other people and you get connection. Oh, I watched the time. I know, Rob.
So Jennifer, just to piggyback, they just came out with advanced editor with KV Core. It now syncs with not MailChimp. What's the other one?
BombBomb?
Yeah, BombBomb.
But you have to have BombBomb to do that though, right?
Yeah, so you have to have a BombBomb account, but now it syncs. So you could actually put a video now in your emails going out from KV Core with your BombBomb account. So
I did do a couple of things that connect though. I now have I don't know. I have a couple different things that I'm doing now. I now have a local number with KV Core because I was tired of everybody getting confused by the number. And I did something else like Stay Connected or something like that. But I haven't personally messed with BombBomb, so I just do the text and go from there.
Yeah, it's a good development though. It's another.
Yeah. Oh, they've added so much stuff. It's insane.
Be able to build that out. So we're just now looking at that, and so we'll try to get some information out once we get it all figured out, and maybe do some tutorials.
Oh, right on.
It's amazing to me though that someone can buy a house in this area under $2,000 a month. I mean that right there.
Who knew, right?
Huge world. And I'll do a quick plug here. My wife, Cindy, she just picked up a little subdevelopment up in Colfax, 20 houses, will be ready in weeks, not months. And they're all 385 and 395, 395 for a 2-level, 385 for a 1-level. So Alicia is the preferred lender on that. And so if you have anybody, I mean, under 2,000 a month, they can live in a brand new house. So if you have anybody, we got the houses, shadowwoodplace.com. You can go see all the floor plans. You could take a Matterport 3D virtual tour. You can see everything on there. So yeah, shadowwoodplace.com. Well, Brent just called me right now and said, is it over yet? How'd it go? And I told him everybody did amazing. So you guys are amazing. We have an amazing team. So much wealth, like Krista was saying and Cindy Silva was saying, so much wealth of knowledge right here on our team. Just don't feel bad reaching out. Don't feel bad posting on that team Facebook page and asking questions. And I know that my wife has been really, really super, super blessed by this team. So thank you, everybody. I think we're done for the day. We try to keep it at 45 minutes. And so have a great rest of your day. And Brent has said he's just proud of y'all. So he's like, I knew it'd go fine. I'm so proud of those guys. So anyways, have a great day, everyone.
Appreciate y'all. Thank you so much.
All right, bye.
Bye.